Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. And today's topic is going to be, should you run if you meet the girl and she doesn't look like her profile photos? Period. I heard some guys talking about this today and it's a good topic. Should you run? Well, should you leave? Should you confront her? Here's what you should do. Or rather, I should say, here's what you could do. Whenever I meet a girl online, and that's how I meet most girls because I live out here in the country, and there's not much out here to say the least, unless you like big girls. And hey, if you like big girls, you're in heaven out here. I like the thinner girls, so for me, it's not too optimal. So what I do, I meet girls from all over the world. I don't date girls in the US, because once you meet some girls from other countries, such as Latin America, South America, Lithuania, Ukraine, beautiful girls, you'll wonder why you are staying in the States, unless you can't afford to travel, and I understand that. So get yourself in a position where you can go out and fish in a bigger lake. But when you're meeting these girls, what you do, or what I do first, is you get them talking on the app. And don't talk long. Switch over to WhatsApp. Almost all girls have WhatsApp. Get them on there and tell them, hey, I want to see what you look like. Have them send you photos of what they look like. Okay, when they do that, some of them may send you photos of the same ones they have on their profile. What I'll do next is ask them to send me a photo with them doing the peace sign or holding a spoon. Now that's for verification, so you can make sure that it's the same girl that's on the profile. You don't know how many times I've done that and the girl just looks nothing like she did on her profile. Well, I've just saved myself some time. To say nothing about if you went to meet that girl and flew somewhere to meet her, or even drove a half an hour or an hour to meet her. It's just, girls have filters and makeup and etc., etc. Okay, so you really need to look at them on another app. Okay, and if you like the way they look, and they do the photo with the spoon or holding a peace sign, you're sure it's her, you can talk just a little bit more, but then you need to get her to talk to you on a webcam. Now, a lot of girls don't want to do that because there's so many guys out there that'll get a girl on webcam, and I've had girls tell me this, and they'll show them their junk, okay? They'll give them a dick pic or whatever. So they're a little bit leery of that. But if she's really interested in you and you've built a little bit of rapport, like I say, don't talk too much on text and tell her all about you, because that'll screw it up. You got to keep a little bit of mystery. Okay, you talk to her on cam because it's really hard to get a feel for a person's personality unless you talk to them on cam. I met a girl in Wisconsin one time, and I even talked to her on cam for a few moments, and as soon as she walked into the restaurant after I went to meet her, it's like I didn't like her. She was okay, she looked the same as she did on profile, she was good looking, but just something about her. I don't know how that happened, but it happens occasionally. So if it does, you just make the best of it, which I did. I spent the evening with her, it was okay, but I just had no interest in doing anything with her. And it was a long drive. So if you're gonna fly somewhere, even much more important to make sure that you really get the feel for what kind of a person she is. And I have talked to girls on cam that like their photos, I like their messages, and as soon as I talk to them, it's like, I don't like this girl. Her personality was dry. I just didn't want anything to do with her. Now, some of you guys think that when you meet girls online, all they want is your money. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, there's a lot of girls out there that don't want just your money. But it doesn't take long to figure out the ones that do just want money. They'll ask you certain questions. Really, in about 4 or 5 messages, they will come up with something about money. They'll talk about they lost something, their grandma's sick, their mom's sick, or whatever it happens to be. So you don't have to worry about that. I've been doing this long enough that you just kind of get to where you get good at it. And you too can. So it's not like everybody that's online dating is a scammer. You're gonna meet scammers wherever you are if you're focusing on scammers. There's good people too. That's like me, where I'm at. There's really no one to date around here. What am I gonna drive to St. Louis a couple times a week to meet girls? That's like 50 or 60 miles down there. I'm not gonna do that. I don't have to do that. I can meet girls online. It's actually a wonderful time compared to when I grew up. You actually had to go somewhere. you had to go that far to meet girls, because it never has been too rich around here as far as women go. Most of the good-looking women I met and I've been out with, I've met somewhere besides here. Well, when you're younger, it's a little easier. Now when you're in your teens, you have the school crowd, the parties, and we used to have dances here, so that was cool. But we don't even have that anymore. For my kids, I have kids ages 12 to 21. They don't have that. They can't hardly party anywhere where the police don't come and break it up. There's no dances. There's not anything out here. So online is about the only way to go. Occasionally in my town, about once or twice a year, I may see a woman that is really attractive. I know it's really rare here. We live in the Midwest, and yeah, the obesity rate is high here. I think in the US it's like 70%, I believe. People are overweight or obese, and I'm just not into that. Some people are. That's great. It takes all kinds. It's great that everybody doesn't like the same type of woman. My oldest son likes girls with a big butt. That's cool. It's just not for me. So remember, online, you want to meet the girl and vet her as much as you can before you decide to meet her in person. And you're never going to really get to know her until you meet her in person. So don't allow yourself to get too emotionally invested before you meet her in person. As I said before the other day, some guys get all wrapped up in a girl that they have never met. I had a girl do a crap test on me just yesterday. She was asking me about my ex-girlfriend. And I said, she's a good girl. I said, we had a good time together. I said, but, I left her. We broke up. Well, then she writes me a message back and says that she doesn't like the fact that I'm talking to my ex-girlfriend and wants to end it with me. We were just talking by messages anyway, because she lives in another country. I said, okay. So then she comes back on. I wasn't going to talk to her again. Fine. You want to be like that? Cool. I have options. I'm going to talk to whoever I want to. It's not like I'm talking to this girl every day. My ex, I've talked to all my exes. I have nothing against any of them. So I'm not sleeping with them, I'm just talking to them. And besides, my ex lives in another country too. Actually, the same country that this new girl I'm talking to is from. So I just said, okay. Well, then she writes me a message back and says, well, it's just annoying that you're talking to your ex, etc., etc. And I said, look, a man like me has always had many options. Either be the best option or not. As someone said, I didn't have to say that last sentence, but it's like, I don't have time to deal with it. If you're going to be trying to control the frame now, trying to control me, it's just not going to work. She either submits or cooperates or comply or goodbye. That's the way I look at it. I just don't need it. And that's a man with options. And I'm not special. You too can have many options. But you have to build yourself up as a man, get yourself in a position where you can go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do, and get yourself in the top 1% of income earners in the world. It doesn't take a lot to do that. Get on the internet and see what the top 1% of income earners in the world make. And get yourself where you can travel and go places. But don't make your main focus women. Don't make that the most important thing in your life. And then when some girl comes along and tries to crap test you like this girl did, or tries to control the frame, you just say, okay, next. You can move on. You're not belittling anyone. You're in a position where it doesn't matter to you because you have other options. Don't limit yourself. Don't get one-itis. I've got it before, so I know it's a terrible thing. There's so many beautiful women in the world that would just love to go out with a guy like you, would love to be getting messages from a guy like you. That is if you make yourself that guy. And only you can do that. And you can do it. Find a mentor. Get online. Find someone you resonate with. Listen to his stuff. Practice what he tells you to do. If you can't find a mentor local or someone you can go out with local, find a mentor on YouTube. Read books, different things like that. Build yourself up. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and all these other things will be added unto you. And that's all I got for today. Like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.